Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Roy. I'm a home cook and amateur baker, and I am here on this channel sharing recipes that have helped me to lose over 125 pounds, whether those are mine or someone else's. Now today, for my Back to Basics tutorial, this is a flashback. It goes back to my very first video, which was an introduction as well as the recipe to make my homemade light cream cheese. So I've decided to separate this out so it was easier to access, easier to look at than scrolling through trying to find it from the introduction. So for those who have seen it, here it is again if you choose to view it. And for those who have not seen how to make your own 0 by 0 point cream cheese, it's coming up next. All right, so what we are going to work on today is a 0.0 bite cream cheese made from non-fat Greek yogurt, a 0.0 bite food. That way you don't have to deal with those rubbery, fat-free cream cheeses at the store. One thing, if you get the Fage, which I tend to prefer, for some reason they have the date printed on the part you peel off and throw away. So I always write the date on the lid before I throw it away. Otherwise, I never can remember when it's going to expire. So I'm going to, this recipe can easily be halved if you don't need a lot. It can be doubled, it can be tripled. Today I'm going to double it because I am going to use it for another recipe coming up, so that I will have it on hand. And that's going to take 2 cups of Greek yogurt. Always stir it up a little bit before you put it in. Now the original recipe calls for 1 cup and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. The salt definitely makes a big difference in this because it will add something that just regular yogurt doesn't. It's a little savoriness that the Greek yogurt alone does not have. If you need to watch your salt, you could easily cut it down. You could do without it, just don't expect as much of a cream cheesy flavor. Okay, so we have 2 cups of the cream cheese here. Just gonna add it to our bowl. Now I have made the mistake of just putting it into the fine mesh strainer and with the coffee filters. And it's a little difficult to stir the salt in that way, so I prefer to put it into its own separate bowl. So this is a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm gonna, since I'm doubling the recipe, I'm gonna use 2 of those. And just get this out of my way. Now that I'm done with that, and just stir this together. You want that salt to be pretty well put in there. And that's going to do 2 things besides just flavoring the yogurt a little bit to give it a more savory flavor. It's also going to help some of the moisture come out of it. So it is beneficial to add it. But again, if you have to watch your salt intake, then you can leave it out or cut it down. Now you're going to need a fine mesh strainer. Going to need some coffee filters, preferably this cup type, because the cones, I don't think they would hold enough or hold it correctly. So I have 5 of them here. I'm going to save 2 that I'm going to put on the top. You really only need the ones for the bottom that you're going to put inside the strainer, the sieve, like this. And it can be a little finicky trying to sit it in there sometimes. And then you're going to set that into another bowl, just like that. And what this is going to do is it's going to, over the next couple of days, it's going to sit in the fridge. All of the moisture is going to come out of the yogurt. Not all of it, but a good portion of it. So what you're going to do is wrap this up with plastic wrap, put it in the fridge for a couple of days, and let all of the moisture come out, and it's going to fill up this bowl. Now this bowl is deep enough that I don't need to dump it too frequently, but if your strainer is sitting on the bottom of the bowl, you're going to want to strain it more frequently so it's not sitting in that moisture and drawing some of it back up. So I'm going to take these other 2 and I'm going to put these on top and press it down. This isn't necessary, but I think it helps, especially if you have a lot of yogurt in there, because it lets some of the moisture seep out through the top as well as the bottom. Now let me dry off my hands and get some plastic wrap to cover that up. Maybe move some of these things out of my way. Now I usually will double the plastic on this just to make sure it's protected from soaking in any flavors that may be lingering in your fridge. It may not be necessary, but that's what I do. And then you just wrap it so it's got a pretty good seal on it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want it to be covered so nothing can get into it. Then we're going to store this in the fridge, and I will show you what happens after it's done. Okay, it's been 24 hours since I put the cream cheese in the fridge, so I will show you the draining process. I don't know if you can see how much liquid is in there, but I'll show you when we go over to the sink. Okay, so I'm going to unwrap this, and you can see, maybe you can't, it's getting a bit firmer, and you want to hold this up over the sink because it may still drip a little bit. But look at all the liquid that has come out of that yogurt. So you're going to cover it back up with the plastic wrap, put it in the fridge for another day or so. You could probably use it now. There might not be much liquid that comes out after this. But if you want it a little firmer, it's better to put it back in. And what you can do is you can set a can or something on top of here now that some of the liquid's gone, and it'll help to press some more liquid out if you want. So I'm going to put this back in the fridge, and I will show you the end result tomorrow. Okay guys, so we are at the end of our cream cheese adventure. Let me grab it out of the fridge. Now a little bit of liquid has spilled off, so let me go dump that out. And I'll grab some paper towels because I'm just going to use the same bowl that I drained this in. I need to get the rest of the liquid out. And now, without further ado, here we have our cream cheese. Now it's obviously going to be a little damp on the coffee filters, but see how thick and creamy that is now? Just like cream cheese. Okay, so here you have your 0.0 bite cream cheese. You can use it for anything, like I said, that you use cream cheese for. And it is 15 calories for 2 tablespoons. That's about a serving. And the macros are fat 0 grams, carbs 0.8 grams, and protein is 3 grams if you're following macros. And you're going to want to store it in an airtight container in the fridge, obviously. But before I do that, I'm going to show you a quick little snack for 1 point or 1 bite. So I'm going to use some everything bagel seasoning on some of these Wasa light rye crackers. You can have 2 of these for 1 bite. I'm going to put a little cream cheese and a sprinkle of this. If you go over 3 grams, it's technically a bite. I wouldn't personally count it, but just to show you the reality of it, I don't even think I would get to 3 grams. I'm going to weigh it out. But I'm not going to put this bowl on the scale first. I'm going to put it on now because when you're doing a very low gram item, the scale sometimes doesn't register it. So right now it's reading the bowl as 72 grams. So I'll go up to 75. There we go. And that's going to be plenty for the crackers. Get that out of the way. Now a little smear of cream cheese. Seeing it spreads just like a cream cheese, like a soft cream cheese. So sometimes if I'm using this in a recipe and it calls for room temperature, I might let it set out, but a lot of times they just want it softened. And this is already softened. And then I'm going to sprinkle on the seasoning. And see, I'm not even using the whole 3 grams. And it's already pretty well loaded. Gonna get this locked up in storage. It's just like cream cheese, especially with the salt. It definitely brings it, like I said, to a more savory place. You may also want to, if you're not going to use it right away, you might want to put the date, the expiration date of the Greek yogurt on there. That's going to expire about the same time. So you can have this lovely little snack for just 1 bite. It's, if you were following calories, it'd be 66 calories for these 2 crackers. You won't be able to tell the difference. That That is the end of this tutorial, this procedure, this recipe. So I hope you liked this video, or at least found it informative. And if you did, maybe give me a little like down below, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for when I upload another video. And also comment below if there's a recipe that you would like to see me try to lighten up. Just no seafood. I don't do seafood. As far as I'm concerned, if it lives in the water, it should stay there. And so also show some love to my supporters, the people who started me on this journey. Bree Coleman, Keeping Up with the Colemans, Jennifer Lynn, and Dish with D. They'll all be linked down below. And there's also a link to my recipe blog. And there's a link to the WW Gays, now they call themselves the Wellness Warriors, to their channel as well. And that's where I got this cream cheese recipe from. So I hope you give it a try. If you do, let me know down below what you've made with it. And until next time, thanks for watching.